All right. Microphone check, 1 2 1 2. What's going on, chat? Hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate everyone tuning in. First off, shout out to Rudy. Thank you for the membership, my friend. Very, very kind of you. Thank you, good sir. Well, we're gonna have a conflict video, excuse me, out by next Wednesday, so you're gonna have early access to it. I'm gonna try and get it out early for you guys. Shit is so loud. Hold on. And what do you call it? Some emotes and all that jazz. But thank you, good sir. How you doing? I hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate everyone tuning in. What do you call it? It's been hot. It's hot out here in Long Island, New York. I tell you what, it's not as hot today, but yesterday, dude, I was streaming fly tying on Li Flies Mike, and I was suffering. So it's pretty hot right now. I just got out of the shower, so I'm like nice and fresh. I'm sure by the end of the stream, I'm gonna be feeling like I ran a mile, but I got a new AC unit coming tomorrow, so my AC is busted, but what do you call it? We have something fun to work on. I've made some serious progress, but what do you call it? We got a custom. Oop, why is this not working? Let's fix that real quick. We got a custom faction for Konflikt that we're working on. Hydrate. Oh, I got myself a nice big glass of what do you call it? Seltzer with nothing, no preservatives, nothing in it. It's the Polar Spring one with, and I got a giant glass of ice. Oof, it's good. Got a little green tea as well. But yeah, I've been drinking water. I've been drinking my seltzers. Turks, yes sir. We got the Turks finally. I put together 30, or kit batch 30 Turkish infantry, using the black shirts actually from Bolt Action. So I got a box of the Italian Army in black shirts, because the clothes, I was looking through all the different infantry in Bolt Action to see what fit the Turkish uniforms the best from World War II. Not Ottoman, because they had slightly different outfits, but very similar, I guess you could say. So we took those, and I 3D printed some War Games Atlantic Ottoman heads, because I couldn't find obviously any World War II Turkish soldier heads, and threw them on here, and you'll see, I think they came out pretty good. So they fit the look pretty good. I'll show you what the Turkish soldiers look like. I took a screenshot, so I should be able to. This is what they look like right here. So I think the hats, like the Fez type hats, kind of fit. They don't have the little caps in the front, but that's okay. And I think the clothing fits the Italian black shirts pretty good. So, because I was rooting around looking to see what worked. So I think it worked out pretty good. They are Ottoman heads and not World War II Turkish hats, but that's okay. Or yeah, because they didn't even really have helmets. They just had hats. Who needs helmets when you got hats? Today I 3D printed the last piece of the torso for my Warlord Titan, now only arms and guns. Oh man, yeah, what a project, huh? So now you're an expert. Is it Istanbul or Constantinople? Well, Constantinople was the name of it when, it was during the Byzantines and all that. But under Ottoman and Turkic rule, it later became Istanbul. I call it Istanbul because I've literally been there before, and that's where some of my family lives. So, but what do you call it? I made 30 of the infantry here with the Ottoman heads, and pretty much all of them are like rifles. Some of them have these Italian machine guns, so there's a machine gunner and a loader, light machine gun dude. But most of them are rifles, and then I have a couple like command squad dudes, and I took some radio guys. So we got, and look, I even green stuffed a little cape for this guy because it looks kind of cool. So we have that. Now there's something else as well. I'll show you real quick. Let's take a look. So now we can't just have basic infantry, right? And now somebody said, yeah, Turkish Axis. So they can either be played as Axis, like they're sympathizers to the Axis that invaded Turkey, or they could be Turkish resistance. And we were talking, some folks, I've made some posts and some folks have commented on it. Because at the end of World War II, they declared war on Germany. So there's definitely, I could see it like where the Axis invade, and probably some people are like, oh, we should work along with them. And some people are like, hell no, we want an independent Turkey. So, I think the cooler thing is I could play them as either, right? And if I play them as allies to the U.S. and the British, then they can use some like Shermans and stuff, or some Valentines, because I looked it up on Wikipedia, the history of like World War II. During World War II, what sort of gear did the Turkish military have? Because they weren't fighting in World War II. They had like a civil war that was going on for years. But they did get, near the end, they bought Soviet tanks, so like T-26s and stuff like that, at some point on their own. And then they were gifted, or they were given Valentine tanks and like Bren carriers by the British. They were also given some Stuart tanks, I believe, and maybe even some Shermans. Probably near the end of the war, they had leftover gear, or like leftover gear in Africa or something, and they just gave it to the Turks, because they were trying to win them over the Axis. Also, they also received Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs, mostly Panzer IIIs, from Germany at the time, because Germany was trying to win the Turks into the war, and the Allies, the Brits and the U.S., were trying to, win the favors of the Turks and get them into the war. At some point, though, they decided they just fought a civil war for how many years, so we shouldn't get them involved. But the U.S. and the Brits did giving them a ton of gear at some point. So they could go either way, you know what I mean? Go for it, painting. What's going on? Greetings from Hungary. Very cool. Very nice. What do you call it? To have a great paint job? All right. Homebrew army rules? That's what I'm thinking, right? Be right back building a little birdhouse. Oh, very nice, Snope, maybe. There was some sort of insect hatch that happened today. We're going to play a little Age of Empires 2 music because it sounds sick. And I've been watching the Hera tournament. I've been watching, there was like a hatch or a spawn or whatever, like a hatch of some bugs. They're almost like ants, but they have wings. Dude, there were thousands of them, and the birds were going nuts in my backyard. They were like dive bombing and like whoosh, whoosh, swooping right in front of my face, grabbing bugs and stuff. It was so cool. But yeah, so the whole idea is we're hoping to homebrew some army rules, or we could play it simple. There's two ways we can do it. I think I'm going to make an army for the Turks where it's like we're using existing army rules and existing unit rules, a lot of Axis stuff because they're either stolen or working with the Axis, but also we can just borrow if we want cool, unique units. We could borrow stuff from like the Ghost Squad, for instance. I want to do an Assassin Squad. I have some really cool Assassin models from Trench Crusade, and I found some other ones. And if we put some more modern heads on them, I think it'll work well. So they could be like Ghost Squads where they're like melee Assassin Squads, small squads where they like teleport and stuff. So we could just use the Ghost Squads, or we can make our own improved version of the Ghost Squad ability, because everyone complains about it, where they can like teleport into combat, but they take damage every time or something, you know? Because there's so many times where we're playing with the Ghost Squad and Rev's like, I can't even teleport on an objective. This thing sucks. Yeah. So we could make our own cool custom rule. So that being said, for advanced infantry or specialist infantry, I was like, okay, what do we do? So obviously, I think one of the main things I want to do is... I got to be careful with my mini factory. They could, like... There might be, like, tits and ass minis and stuff. We got to watch out. What's the other one? Kaiju Shikuno miniatures. Or Kaiju Nico miniatures. I had to spell it out the other day. I was like, oh, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Simulation Explorer 369. Love the battle reports. K47 has become way more interesting than 40K for me. The lore is the only discerning factor. That's the thing, right? And I'm with you on that. I have a whole box of Blood Angels behind me. I have Emperor's Children, Orcs. I have Tyranids. And that's the thing, the lore in 40K is so cool. Like, just listening to audiobooks about... what do you call it? Like Blood Angels fighting off the Tyranids from the, the Destruction of Baal or something. And like Sanguinius shows up, or not Sanguinius, the, what's it called? The Sanguinor or something? I forgot, it's been so long since I played, I'm forgetting the names. The Sanguinator, the Sanguinor, like shows up and saves these two Terminators. They end up dying, but it ended up like, they ended up taking out these Hive Tyrants, and you just see this like angel of golden light, like... fighting multiple was it Hive Tyrants, or maybe it was carnivores. It was like he was fighting like 3 carnivores at once while the Terminators were like holding off waves. It's so cool. So we're just missing that. We're missing a lot of cool lore which can come in the future. Or, you know, we're getting these books like the Festoon Europa, which has a decent amount of lore in it actually, and then but not like novels. There's a couple novels. But the cool thing is with this is as I make the battle reports, we're like making our own lore. Like Japan invaded Alaska, so like when the Invasion of America books come out, we're gonna continue that, where like they're in Alaska and they're making their way. They're like, then they go into like Seattle or something, and invade the West Coast. So like we're coming up with our own lore about it, not super in depth, but like, you know, we can kind of. There's no like with Warhammer. If I make a video and I'm like, oh well, you know, the Blood Angels are doing this, but then someone would be like, actually, they technically in the Invasion of Baal, this happened. I'm like, fuck. So with the cool thing about Konflikt, I can do whatever I want. You know, we had wyverns, we've had like dragons and stuff. And who's to say that you can't do that? The rift opened up, and out of the mountains of Bavaria, some lizards, some skinks got transformed into a wyvern. I mean, there's werewolves. You can't tell me we can't do it. So that's what I love about Konflikt. But yes, we're missing that fine, super in-depth, like, novels, like Black Library books for Konflikt. But that also, you know, it's okay. Konflikt doesn't necessarily have to be Warhammer either. But we can write our own lore, which is kind of cool. Until they come out with some new stuff, you know. Alright, there's one thing I wanted to show here. These are fantastic. I think they were recent. It's Kaiju Niku miniatures. Nico. Here we go. This is what I want. Yo, what's going on, Mall Dropper? So this is like his stall trooping right here. And I think this would be great for if we want to do like the Turks stole the technology and have made their own Stormtroopers. Like, these are really cool, but they also kind of look like, it looks like somebody almost like, and obviously so he's not copying the Stormtroopers, it's his own thing. But I like this. It's unique enough to where it looks like maybe in a garage somewhere they like made this. You know what I mean? It's just metal plates. It's not too fancy in the shape. Like a lot of the German armor is like beautifully shaped, obviously because they have the manufacturing. So this is cool. I think I might use these as like Stormtroopers. So that's pretty nice. So now the other thing I got is these. This is the War Games Atlantic Death Fields. It's the Demir Guard or Demir Guardians. So this is very Trench Crusade-ish, but it's also, I think, for their own game or something. But these are essentially like Ottoman troops with like gas packs. They have like blunderbusses. They have Giselles on the command squad. So what I'm thinking is, if we do a custom army all together, what we could do is I could kind of borrow from like Trench Crusade, and we could do alchemist ammunition, because we got to be careful. If we call it alchemical, then they'll sue me. We know Trench Crusade. But so we could do something where it's like the Turks, they're kind of like going back to that like, early Islamic scientific sort of era where they were messing around with alchemy. They were like looking into the stars, because that's kind of where Trench Crusade got their whole inspiration. So they could be like utilizing alchemy and imbuing like rift energy into their metal plates. So I could be like, these could be like some sort of power armor dudes, even though they're not like super chonky. This could, I could like paint the armor like glowing like a rift color, and it could be like imbued with like, runes in Arabic or something. So that could be pretty cool, you know what I mean? And even though these are like Giselles or like, small pistols, we could make them to where they're using some sort of special ammunition with like a special gunpowder that's infused with rift energy. So they're like rift bullets, you know what I mean? So it could be like the blunderbuss could be like shotguns in close range, where there's like two options, buckshot or slug, but alchemical stuff or like alchemist ammunition. And then these guys could be like sharpshooters with Giselles using like special bullets or something, or maybe not sharpshooters, but more like marksmen. So that's kind of my idea. That seems kind of cool. And then this, I also got this. So I got the infantry and the command squad that we just looked at, and then I also got this. There is not enough horse cavalry in Konflikt. They have cavalry. They have the Cossacks, I think. They have some other cavalry units in bolt action, which I always loved. I never used them, but I was like, dude, that's the cool thing about World War II, is like when Germany blitzkrieged into Poland, there were like Polish army cavalry charges into German like panzer lines and stuff, crazy stuff. So, and the Ottomans were very well known, and just Turkic. If you go back into Turkish history and like the Turkic people, essentially my father's ancestors on his side, they're like coming from like that Mongolian kind of horseback riding area. So they have a mix of like Eastern Asia, or what do you call it, Western Asian and like, or Eurasian, and like the what do you call it, kind of like Arabic or Middle Eastern DNA, mixed together. But they were essentially like horseback riding people for quite a while, where they were just like living on horses, kind of like the Huns. So I love the idea of a cavalry unit, and these are like special. We could do this is like special rift armor on the horses, and these guys are riding around. They have gas masks. They kind of look like they're out of Dune or something. They look really cool. And we could do some sort of like rift spears. So I would love to have a thing where the horses, like, they have an ability where they charge into combat, you know what I mean? And we could always do something simple. Let's say you wanted to just use an army rule. You could just take it to where they have a rift ability, and they can charge, and they could fight before the other unit, and then they can negate defensive positions if they have that and fight at the same time instead of whatever. So you could do that, or you could do something really cool where if they charge from a certain distance, they get like +1 to their, or they get an extra hit for every hit they get, kind of like a Shiburu cannon or something. Because we could do an exploding like rift tipped spear. but it has to be like a certain distance, and you can use the rift die or something. It can't, maybe you need a long enough charge to like get into them or something. I don't know. We could do something cool. And I think it's 9 or 18 inches for cavalry and what do you call it? For cavalry and bolt action. So I'm like, that probably seems right? Because you don't want to make them. I mean, you could say they're 12 inches, but they don't negate. They can't fly over stuff like fireflies. I kind of want to make them 12 inches. So you want the Cossack, yeah, essentially. But Ottoman horseback riders. Alchemical ammunition was around before Trench Crusade. Oh yeah, of course. I'm just, what do you call it? I'm making jokes about their recent bad press with their, what do you call it? Their copy strike and stuff. Yo, what's going on, Curtis? Hell yeah, I love K47, dude. It's been the game that's taken over our lives, essentially. Me and Rev. We're starting to play some other games, and I'm happy. The one-page rules video we just put out is the highest viewed, like, in the last, it'll tell me metrics for, like, show me, like, the past 3 days, 24 hours, like, when a new video comes out. This one-page rules video we just put out where it's bolt action World War II versus 40k orcs in one-page rules Grimdark Future the Skirmish. It's been the highest, like, the best performing video. So I'm really happy about that. Because we love Konflikt, but we also want to play some other games here and there. It's good to, like, every other week mix in some other games. That being said, though, there's so many. Let me just tell you right now, we have the entire Festoon Europa book, which I want to do. We may not follow it exactly. We may customize the missions, but use the Festoon Europa missions as, like, our framework. We have the Festoon Europa to do. We have a giant apocalypse game where it's going to be 3,000 point armies each. So we're going to have 3,000 points of U.S. Fireflies and mechs versus 3,000 points of Toten Core and the new Toten Horde. So that's going to be, I said I would do it when we got to 1,000 subs, but Rev's been putting together all of that, what do you call it, the new box that came out with all the Toten Core stuff and the hero. So he's finishing the bases, which will probably be ready next week. And I printed some more Fireflies. I got all my mechs ready. I've been working on, I'll show you guys, a ton of terrain. So we printed a ton of buildings. And recently I just, like, airbrushed them a little. I was like, I got to do more. So I painted the bricks. I've been doing the window frames. I have some posters that I printed out on paper that I'm going to glue on there. And then we could just hit it with a wash and dry brush it. And then it'll look better. But I got to say, these 3D printed buildings have been a godsend for us. But the idea is it's going to be in the middle of, like, Dresden or something. Or in the middle of a city somewhere. I think it is Dresden is where the bomb hits. That's where all the zombies are. So it's going to be like Dresden in the city. And then we're going to have the this thing right here. Which I'm not going to show you guys everything, but you guys know what this is. We got a special piece of terrain for it. We're not going to have the big walker. We're not doing that. But we built something else. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be sick. For the barding, use the body armor for Soviets. When you say barding, is that the name of horse armor? Interesting. Okay. Interesting. But, so we got horses. We have alchemist-infused armor. These could be either shock troopers or maybe even Schwertruppen or something. And then we got some Stahltruppen-esque sort of guys. So I think that's pretty good. And then for vehicles, I was thinking what we're going to do is we're going to use probably, like, mostly stolen Axis vehicles. So it's going to be like Vogelspinners. It's going to be Panzer 3s. Panzer 3s. I said Panzer 3s. God, that was my Long Island accent. Panzer 3s, Vogelspinners. And probably not using a ton of Rift. I don't, because here's the thing. I haven't figured out so if we do use alchemical ammunition or something, let's say, or alchemist-infused ammunition, then that doesn't necessarily mean we need, like, Schwerfield cannons and Tesla cannon type S guns. We could take light anti-tank or medium anti-tank guns and then use use an alchemical tank round. So that could be cool, and have like the end of the tank cannon being like glowing a certain color, like the rift color. So that's just an idea. Obviously, there's the special weapons that are like the Jezzails or the blunderbusts and all that. And we could probably find some like maybe Vickers machine guns or something, because they're not going to have the best top of the line stuff. Even if they're loyal Turkish troops to the Axis, the Axis isn't going to give them all the best stuff. So I like the idea that but maybe they'll share some basic rift technology, and the Turks can work on it on their own. So that's kind of the idea, right? Drink some water here, my mouth's dry, and I'm talking so much. Devastation of Ball is a great series. Don't get me wrong, I love the K47 lore. What got me away from Warhammer is the actual game system. Yep. Well, Warhammer is great. I think especially if you like hyper competitive games and you want to find games anywhere you go, because it's such a big game. But when I was doing TTRPGs, I love Savage Worlds and other game systems. And all my friends, all they wanted to play was D&D. Oh, new campaign D&D, and another campaign during the week D&D, and this D&D. I'm like, dude, there's other games out there. And that's kind of what it's like with Warhammer, you know what I mean? There's so many great tabletop games out there, and everyone just focuses on GW stuff on the internet, especially content creation, because that's where a lot of views are. But I like focusing on the games that I think are fantastic, that don't get as much love, so that just seems to be where the channel has ended up, and I like it, so. Yo, Tiki the Hut coming in with the gift membership, going out to Andrew of Citium. Thank you, my friend. How's it going, dude? What's up? I feel like I should use the Japanese paint for these guys' armor, dude. I don't know. What do we think? I need Tiki's opinion. Now, this is just a photo, but I've been tinkering, making Zero Rift Tech using Resistance faction. Making a Zero Rift Tech. What the hell are you talking about? That sounds cool. What Resistance faction? So this is what the paint looks like. What I did is I primed it black, then I airbrushed it brown, with just light enough to not where it's saturated brown, and then I hit it with the German beige. So when I mixed a little bit of the brown with it to kind of give it a little tinge. So I mean, it came out good. It looks like a desert color, but does it look like this? Is the question. This looks more like almost like Chinese, or like like that more like tan beige. You know what I mean? As opposed to a lighter one. But that's okay. I can always maybe highlight it or like hit it with a wash or do something like that. I don't know. We can always paint over it or something with a lighter color like this that's more yellow, and I can do edge highlighting or something, I guess, in reality. Yeah, it's like a beige. So, I mean, I use, though, German beige. This is what I used for the... Where is it? It's not exactly there. I feel like I could have gotten away with like a Japanese or like a Chinese colored clothing paint. This is what I use. I mean, it's pretty close, but it's once it dries out, you know what I mean? I used like a custom faction for K47, the Resistance. They don't use Rift-Tick or Riftmaster. Oh, lots of luck and normal. Oh, okay. So that's literally what we're doing right now. Tiki the Hut. You're trying to steal my thunder. And you already got more cool rules than me. You already got a better mindset. I see how you are. I see how it is. It's going to be... No. We're going to have to work together is what's going to happen here. So, we got to brainstorm because we're going to have two custom factions. What do you call it? Are you making NCOs or officers with fezzes? No. Almost half the guys have fezzes. Everyone has fezzes. And there's some guys with some cool hats. This guy's got a cool kind of hat, too. So we're going to have to paint little Turkish half moons and stars. What about sepia tone? So is that a wash? Is that a wash that I could put over them? That sounds like it's pretty good. Or I guess I could always like, you know. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I'm like, what I want to do is work on them. I want to put some like, I want to paint the guns. I want to paint some like straps and stuff. And then if I could hit it with like a wash, that can kind of brighten it up a little bit like that. Or I could just edge highlight, then I'll be happy. I mean, honestly, it's fine like the way it is, but I just kind of want to be a little bit of more of a stickler. You know what I mean? Fezapalooza? Hell yeah, for sure. All right, let's do some painting. I don't have that, but I can order that if you guys think that would work. I have very limited actual experience with what do you call it? Oh, Rudy. Yeah, Rudy, thank you for the 20 the checks. Appreciate it, bro. Just need a little milk. We got ourselves some cereal. Let me check the Discord. What do we got here? I usually check them halfway through, but I'll check it out for you right now, brother. Give me a sec. Let's take a look. Oh, damn. Oh, man. So this is what, your Warlord Titan? Is this what you're talking about? Like all these parts? Well, hey, at least you're using an FDM printer. You think it's a yellowish tone more than brown. Okay, so let me see. Sepia tone. Hold on. We'll, let's take a look. Hold on. I'm not done looking at the Discord. I'm just writing this down so I don't forget. Okay. Sepia tone wash. Gotcha. Very nice bunker. That's a nice one. We have a couple 3D printed bunkers. That looks nice. I made a bunker out of foam as well. What are these? Oh, is that resin? It almost looks like resin. The detail on that. Nah, it's FDM, right? It's gotta be. Or is it resin? I can't tell. It's hard. It's getting harder to tell nowadays. The Warlord's in resin? Gotcha. Then that's a pain in the ass. Doing the Warlord in the Titan in resin, dude. Yeah, these are resin. Okay, gotcha. Nice. Oh, that's cool. They're like ripping their flesh off. That's sick. Dude. 3D printer go burr, baby. Shoot, shoot. Hell yeah. Yeah, so this is the, these are the black shirts that I did, and I green stuffed, put the Ottoman heads, because they didn't have, what do you call it? Necks. Only the bunkers FDM? Okay, gotcha. We have a Czech one, too? Bro, the Czech wargaming community is big. What do you call it? These are, primed black, and then you can see here, this was with the brown. This is the German brown that I have. Like the Luftwaffe brown or something, and then this is with the airbrushed with the German beige. So now the sepia tone though, I deny your cookies. Okay. I'm gonna have to actually look at like photos of it. I see. Or maybe is that right? We got to see a sepia tone. Oh, okay. Yeah. I see. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Hey, headed back to work. Yo, Tiki, thank you so much. Yo, I'm gonna reach out to you on Discord about the what do you call it? The custom faction, and send me whatever files you want and I'll print them for you, okay? Don't worry about it. Whatever you need, we'll print them out for you. If it's too big, we'll go FDM and Rev will print it for you. We were talking about it, so you let me know. No, that's GW stuff. All right, I like it. I think that looks good. Is the War Painters one all right? and some white prime minis. I can check what it looks like. Yeah, well, it's going to look a little different, right? Because these are tanned and stuff. I think this gives me a good idea. This looks like it's like a black mini that was just hit with sepia tone, or like grayish color. But from what I see, this looks like it's... I see what it's doing here. And I think that's going to work. And I think we could still paint the miniature and then hit it with the wash. So I think this looks like it's going to be the one that we're looking for here. Okay, cool. Whoever recommended that. RK, thank you. Appreciate that. We'll see if they got it on the old Zon. Alright. Let's do some painting. That looks perfect, because these are like kind of tannish with a little bit of brown. So I think once... I mean, they already kind of have that look. I think if we hit them with a light sepia wash, then this is going to look perfect. I might paint my Axis in sand, too. I have a lot of sand vehicles. Oh, I got to show you guys what my shelf looks like. Hold on. Oh, I took a photo. I guess I could show you, but it's all set up. In the next battle report, you should see it. I'll make sure to take a video of it for you guys. Cost me a little pretty penny. But check it out. Finally got rid of that. I moved that one giant shelf. And there's the white shelf here. I actually ended up moving that. But I got a nice cabinet. So that's all of my Axis. Oh, that's all of my Axis bolt action and conflict right there. So you can see I have some desert tone vehicles, and then I did a lot of the camo stuff. That's like all bolt action stuff. Then we got zombies, Nachtjäger, specialist units, a bunch of the green hand. Check out the green hand. And rift vehicles, and then more little peacock stuff. And then down below it, this is all of my US stuff right here. As well as one of Rev's Merlin walkers that are here. But we got all the walkers back here. Still have to paint up that K47 miniature. And then I got a bunch of bolt action. Still got a bunch of bolt action stuff to paint as well. 3D printed paratroopers. And then all the conflict American stuff right there. So, and then I filled the next shelf below with a bunch of random crap. And then a bunch of random crap below it. But either way, there's so much wasted space in this thing that I need to build. I'm going to take plexiglass and build more shelves or like little stands so I can put the miniatures above, maybe put more minis. But anyways, your Soviets and Americans in winter. Yeah, I have both my Axis, most of my Axis in bolt action and K47 in winter. That's kind of why we ended up doing it. In all winter, because I already had bolt action. And then my Americans are also winter bolt action, late war. So I ended up doing winter. This will be my first non-winter army, which I'm excited about. I need to get my vow finalized before I start painting. What, are you getting married or something? What the hell's going on? Okay. Where's a nice crappy brush? Put my crappy brush. Get some water. Where's the water at? There we go. Some nice dirty paint water. Amen. All right. So what do we got here? We got a couple browns. What I want to do is I want to paint. There's really not much crazy color on here. Just some of the brown on the straps and brown on the rifle. And that's pretty much it. Most of the Turk colors are this. So pretty straightforward. Yo, and Rudy, thank you for the gift membership. Thank you, appreciate it for the membership, the dono, and the gift. Very kind of you. Let's get a round of applause. Going out to Clove. Hey, check out Clove, dude. Or Klovek. If you guys are interested, I actually just learned a ton of lore because he put out a short just before, and I watched it before the stream, but it was talking about how, what do you call it? How, like, some of the bombs, they tried to set them off over Japan, but they got shot down, and then they did the one over Dresden, it opened the rift, and then they didn't know about the rift stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, there you go. Well, thank you, Rudy, appreciate that. I do like the Winter Army, man. I'm a big fan of, like, I've watched a ton of Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan and stuff, but there's some of the scenes when they were fighting in, like, Bastogne and all that. Some crazy stuff. Alright, we're going to use some of this, I think the German brown. I should also move my palette to the left. Let's move all these guys over. Alright. I'm going to need to get some new cheap brushes. I guess I could always steam them or something, but... This is the hard thing, is me keeping my, yeah, I should honestly find a different brush to use. This brush is kind of shot, dude. Is there any brushes that aren't complete and utter garbage? There we go. Need something fine-tuned. I have some brushes that I don't utterly destroy every time I use them. The hardest thing for me while painting is keeping this stuff in view for you guys. Italy brushes are the way, really. The problem is, I'm like a barbarian in D&D that paints, so like the brushes just end up getting destroyed. So I could do fine with like just some cheap brushes, but nice ones, I have a couple nice ones. I don't use them because I just know I'm gonna probably screw them up. I know there's some ways you can like revitalize them and all that, but I'm just a little bit of a barbarian almost. Alright, does this guy... I'm trying to see where those little straps go. This is the problem. I'm going to zoom out, because if I zoom too much in, then it's going to not focus right. They're cheap brushes? Okay, I'll take a look then. Yeah, the straps go underneath that, guys. Under that guy's little jacket thing. So we got any conflict games coming up? Is anybody playing anything? Any bolt action? One-page rules? What are you guys doing? I hit up Rev. I told him I don't know what's going on. I might, I have to work on this fly tying video. Summertime striper fishing. Or summertime striper flies. So I need to do that. And we have a conflict video and a full one-page rules Grimdark Future game that I have to edit. So we might take tomorrow off, not record anything game-wise, and continue working on videos. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard back from him, so. We're also working on Gaslands. We have a ton of Gaslands terrain that's primed, and all that jazz. And I have 2 minis that we kit bashed. I have to kit bash 1 more. Alright, looks like their little ammo pouches are brown as well. This might be a thing where I paint it brown and then hit it with the speed paint brown on top of it. To give it that color. Yo, Rev, there he is. What's going on, dude? Are those Italians? Ha 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 ha. Well, first off, thank you, Rev, for the gift membership to Derelict. There he is. That is a box of Italians, but guess what? The Italian uniforms were stolen and given to the Turkic troops. The Turkish troops that were that are now in charge, or now in control from the Axis. But they might be Turkish resistance. Hey, enjoy the membership. You're putting mud on zombies for hours. I told chat. You've been mudding up, dude. What's going on, Ed? How's it going, dude? How's everything going? Hope you're doing well. And thank you, Rev. Appreciate that. I'm going to paint all their pouches brown and everything. Very simple. Yeah, we got... It's the Turkish resistance bait. We're making a custom faction for Konflikt. That's one thing we don't have, though, is Italians. True. Well, too bad. I bought a box of Italians and making them Turkish. Whole turkey club. You know, asking me about turkeys. There's not even any turkey birds in the Anatolian plateau known as Turkey. Okay? I looked it up, too. I was wondering, I was like, do I make like a half-human monster? I do have the Lions of Jabir from Trench Crusade, but I was looking at what's like, you know, there were wolves, there were bears, but the like, one of the only living like big predators in Turkey is the Anatolian leopard, which is endangered and a protected species. But what if they have Anatolian leopards that they could sick on people? They're kind of like African leopards ish. Yes, it is Turkey. And I think it's pronounced... they just changed it, so it's like... Officially, it would be like Turkey internationally, but now they changed it, so even like on the US and stuff, it's going to be Turkey or something. The proper pronunciation and writing, instead of the American or the like English version. Something, I don't know. My dad was saying. Turkey. It's actually a really popular Turkish movie, Leopard Man. I can't tell if you're joking or not, because I'm telling you, some of the most ridiculous movies I've ever seen are Turkish. So one of my dad's friends, they were trying to get him to join this band. There's like a really huge band in Turkey. I forgot the name of it, but there's like these three guys. And they were filming comedy movies too. I never forgot we were in Turkey watching this movie. I have no idea what's going on because it's all in Turkish. It was like, I'm telling you, I wish I was like smoking a joint too while watching it. Because I don't think I've ever laughed watching a movie that hard. There was a scene where they're like flipping through the air and I had no idea what's going on. And I'm like, this movie's the craziest thing I think I've ever seen. I would have loved to bring it to Rev's house back in the day when we were in high school. Roll up a fatty and we all sat down and watched that. They would have freaking probably died of a heart attack. Turkey or something. Yeah, I don't know how my dad was mentioning it. I'm not as suave as him. I have to learn. Don't worry, I'm going to have my dad do Turkish voiceovers for these videos, by the way. Or tell him what I need to say in Turkish rough. It's probably going to sound like shit, but I do have someone to help me yell into the microphone for videos, so that's cool. The same guy that did Turkish Star Wars, better than a Batman, a boo-boo. This is what I'm talking about, dude. There's some crazy Turkish movies. I gotta find out. It was like Mosferat or something. There's a band with like 3 dudes. It's my dad's friends. And they're the ones that were in that movie, like, flipping through the air. It's one of the funniest things. Let's take a look. God, my hands are sweating like crazy. Oh, their boots need to be brown, too. I think that's looking pretty good. And then we hit the clothing with the sepia wash. I think we're going to keep the hats tan, too. We're not going to do, like, red fezzes. That's, like, a Moroccan thing. But we're going to keep them tan, but paint the red and white, or like do red with the white half moon and star. We're going to do the Turkish symbols on them. Now here's the thing, these guys are pretty simple. What I'm thinking is, what I could also do is some crazy stripe camouflage. You know what I mean? But what I could keep these guys simple, and what I could do here is, like, with these guys, I could have like red pants. You know what I mean? I could do something interesting like that, you know? I am thinking I do want red and white to be a pretty dominant color on the minis, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I saw an Indian superhero movie, dude. I see Indian movie clips on Instagram all the time, and they are like must be eating magic mushrooms. It was Lion Man. Okay, it seems familiar. Camo on the fez, true. Well, we got to get Sean, because Squig Herder Sean literally has fezzes with on his miniatures. So, and mine are different though. I couldn't find the exact Turkish hats, but you know, you get the idea. Ottoman fezzes. The Bollywood superhero films, yeah. And yo, Boot Mountain. Hear me out. U.S. already had a latent rift before the atomic bomb. It's in Utah. It's called Skinwalker Ranch. They could do something with that. Oh yeah, there's definitely stuff where you could. There's a ton of American folk history and lore where you could have like Native American like warriors or something. You know, maybe they hire like Cherokee tribes members to like do scouting, because they already kind of have that sort of stuff in World War II and Vietnam. But what if then you have like Native American supernatural like history or super, you know, natural sort of stuff, and incorporate that into the American side. So some of that, you want a custom U.S. Army, or you want a cool U.S. Army list, you can do Native American and what do you call it? Do like, you know, some sort of find out what tribes like helped in World War II, or you know, like the and go with that, you know. Romanian Rift vampires. Oh yeah, that's the thing. You can take an existing army like the Germans and make them like, you know, Romanian, do whatever, right? All right, let's paint his boots. This is kind of like a little test color is what we're doing right now. I'm gonna order the sepia tone for sure. We could just get a tiny little bit of like more tan beigeish color on there, or tan beige color, and that'll add like another effect of terms of shading and volume to it, so it'll look better, I think, in general. You know what I mean? And I saw somebody said you got a bolt action game coming up. Sorry, I missed it. Also, what's going on, Doc? How's it going, dude? Old Gamer Dad, how's it going? Damn, I really had to go back for... Oh, and Ed, yeah. Where was that? I missed it. It's not that far back. Our TO chose to put a very specific rules pack for tomorrow. We call it Rattenkrieg, and that's really nice for me because I invented it. Aha! So what you're saying is you're gonna definitely win. Right? Silik Aslan. Arcane. Okay. I gotta ask my dad. He probably knows a lot of this stuff. My dad and mom, they'll actually watch on Netflix Turkish like comedies and stuff. They have all sorts of stuff on Netflix nowadays. My Turkish is terrible, unfortunately, but I know enough to where it'll be okay for the videos, to where I can just yell stuff. Huddy, huddy. If something goes wrong, Allah, Allah. Ya manyak. Stuff like that. Romanian style walker. Were Romanians in World War II, they were with Axis, or were they separate, or what? Because I know there's like Bulgarians for bolt action. There's so many different stuff. You could probably do a variation on some sort of whatever tanks they were using from whoever they were fighting with. This is where I think too, like, you can either do some cool kit bashing with existing stuff or use some cool 3D printed stuff. You've never won the Rattenkrieg? Okay, gotcha. Well, that's cool. Hell yeah. I've never made... look, I'm dipping my toes into making... most of the time, I just use what's out there, but... we gotta make some custom factions and stuff. Very nice. I don't know what for the backpack, or what for the little, like, radio pack on the back. Maybe some sort of camo. That's a cool place to do a camo. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about doing, like, a tiger stripe camo or something. Essentially. But I kind of, like, do I do it with, like, the tan, the brown, and the black? Like, actual camo? Or do I do it with, like, white and red over the tan? And do it, like, with the Turkish colors? Dude was prolific, probably the most popular actor outside of Turkey. Okay, then my dad definitely knows him for sure. Romania switched sides during World War II, began an Axis powered, allied with Germany to recover territories annexed by the Soviet Union. In August 44, royal coup overthrew the Axis regime, and Romania joined the Allies against Germany. Gotcha. Like the Russians. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, things aren't looking good over here. Maybe we should swap sides. Mm-hmm. That is LMG equipment, not radio, and the 2 sticks are spare barrels. Gotcha. Well, guess what? It's a radio for the Turks. I took your spare barrels for your LMGs because these are Turkish guys. And I kit bashed. It's a radio now, and what I'll do is I could take a little green stuff, run a little wire or something to like a little earpiece if I want to. You know what I mean? You know what I do? I take your LMGs and I say, suck it. These are copies of Italian LMGs by the Turks, and they are far improved in 1947, where you don't need spare barrels, and they're made out of titanium. Get wrecked. Woo! They do kind of look like radio packs. I didn't know they were barrels, but that makes sense. But now it's a gigantic radio pack, like Vietnam style, in World War II. What's on backwards? The radio pack? No, because the other side, no, because this is like, or maybe it's backwards for how it's supposed to be sitting. Yeah. But that's how I hide the barrels, and now we got antennas, and I can put a cool thing here where it says, like, down with von Zogling. You know what I mean? Look, guys, do you guys even know anything about kit bashing? Psst, come on. You guys even know how to kit bash, bruh? You take something, you flip it around, and you glue it, and you call it something else. Done. Thank you. You've just learned how to kit bash. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's inside down. It's definitely inside down. Do they still have oil applicator? No, what they do is, what they've learned, you don't need an oil. Yeah, do you even kit bash, bro? That would be a good t-shirt. Do you even riff, bro? See, we already have that one, though. What they do is they just carry around a giant vat of oil, like gear oil or something, and they just dunk the machine gun in it, and then they just shoot it. You know what I mean? They cool it down with the oil like that. It can be hazardous. There's been a couple fires, but it works. You know what I mean? Luckily, the alchemical ammunition means that it doesn't heat up as much. You can always, one thing I've learned, chat, if anyone ever questions anything you've ever done in Konflikt, just say, it's the rift, brah. You gotta hit them with the brah at the end, though, just to infuriate them. Be like, why does your German platoon commander, why is he riding a T-Rex and Willie Nelson is playing guitar on the T-Rex's tail? And you go, it's the rift, bruh. First off, Willie Nelson came back with FDR through the rift from like the 60s or 70s, like peak Willie Nelson. I don't know in the timeline. I'm not a big Willie Nelson fan, but I respect him. And the dinosaurs, I don't know. They found them in Costa Rica. Okay? I've seen a movie about that. 60% of the time, it works all the time. Exactly. Now we're talking. Hell yeah. It's hot as hell, chat. My room's heating up by now. Whew. Whew. All right, so how are we going to paint this dude? This is our Demir infantry. He has an alchemical shotgun. Instead of it being a blunderbuss, Oh, it actually is a shotgun, by the way. That is way cooler. It actually is a shotgun. I didn't realize. It has the rail for the pump. And you can see the pump is separate. And it has a, on this side, it's kind of weird. This is actually like a left-handed shotgun. As a lefty, I can understand. Because the ejection chamber's on that backside. You can't see it. There's an ejection chamber. So it's like a shotgun blunderbuss thing. Okay, that's even cooler. I was going to call them shotguns. It turns out they are shotguns. Shout out to War Games Atlantic. So these guys, we'll do the sepia tone thing. I'll probably paint the fancy Chaos Space Marine runes in either gold or maybe in red and white. But we can probably continue the brown. I don't know. This guy's kind of fancy. I might do like white pants, red thing. Let's do that, actually. He's got poofy pants and he's got a poofy fancy garb. So maybe we paint the pants white and the cloak red. And we'll continue some of the brown probably with any straps and all that. Okay, that's cool. Let's do that. None of what you're saying makes any sense. Have you not read the novels? Have you not read the manual scripts about the Costa Rican dinosaurs that Sir Edward III went and found on expeditions? Do you think that the world just stopped? Do you think there aren't British explorers going deep into the jungles of Ethiopia and they find like you can use gorillas all of a sudden? Just stick one of those rift juice. We saw what's in our video where we found a giant vat of rift juice and that dickhead Commissar Drugov drank all of it and was like, "Rah!" Went Super Saiyan mode. You just throw some of that on a couple gorillas and you got yourself some badass mutated gorilla fighting machines. It's all because of the rift. Okay, all praise be the rift. Praise be the rift. Now that's a t-shirt. Praise be the rift. That's a t-shirt right there. In fact, I'm writing it down. We already got Do You Even Rift, Bro? And then the next one will be Praise be the rift. I like it. What do you know, Ed Scar? Do you even rift, bro? Come on. You haven't riffed hard enough if you haven't found gorillas and dinosaurs in Willie Nelson. That's all I'm gonna say. Praise be the rift. The other one, nobody copy it, alright? What would Super FDR do? Or what would FDR do? Okay? Those are our 3 t-shirts that we're planning for the future. Ever watch Riff Tracks? Love that shit. No, I haven't. Riff Tracks. No. I meant the nonsense you said about the shotgun. Look, don't be a hater, alright? If I want to shove a bunch of forks and spoons into a shotgun and then, fire it with alchemical juices at Waffen SS troops, and I will. Okay. Oh, are you talking about that the ejection port was on? No, it's a shotgun. It's a pump-action shotgun. But when you shoot a shotgun, you don't want the... Oh, wait a minute. Maybe you're right. The ejection port is on your side. I'm thinking of like a rifle. I guess you do want the ejection port on your side with the shotgun because you can actually you can load shotgun shells through the ejection port. All right, you're right. I haven't shot a shotgun in a while. What do you know about shotguns over there in England anyway, huh? You guys are still shooting ducks with blunderbusses. Oh, wrong one. You guys are still shooting ducks with like freaking muskets. All right. I got a shotgun over there. I completely forgot that the ejection port is on the side. Yeah, cutlery cannon. Exactly. Thank you. Okay. I forgot what movie that's from, but I remember they took a bunch of spoons and forks, put it in like a shotgun or blunderbuss thing and shot it. You shoot shotgun. Look, airsoft doesn't count. Okay. No, I'm joking. Don't tell me you're over there shooting foxes. All right. All right. We're gonna take a quick little break, chat. I'm just gonna grab a new drink because it's hot as hell. And let's try and paint up one of these guys here, these Demir infantry. By the way, I'm just busting your chops, Ed, of course, because you're a fellow content creator. That's how I show my affection around here. Don't get it mistaken. Pirates of the Caribbean, was that where it was? Where they shot a bunch of like spoons and forks? I feel like I've definitely seen it somewhere else. Is Laura Croft a riff unit? Hell yeah. Can we put her in a tank top and like short shorts? Then yeah, sure. Permission granted. I will gladly blow up Laura Croft with my Tesla cannon. I'm all for it. I will never say no. Okay? You arm the foxes? Okay, so you give... So what you're saying is you give the shotguns to the foxes. I see. Nice. Pirates of the Caribbean it was. Okay, okay. Rift tracks equals MST3K. I still don't know what that is. But it sounds cool. It almost sounds like a game, though. I'm not going to lie. All right, we're going to take a quick break, chat. When I get back, we're going to... Let's grab some... I got my fancy 3D printed. Shout out to Rev, by the way. Rev's just 3D printing everything. Like, anything you can 3D print, he 3D prints now. So soon we're just going to have a whole new house that Rev's going to print us. But we'll grab some... Where is it, actually? Oh, here it is. The Brigade Gray, which is my lightest color. And then we'll grab... Is there Slaughter Red? No, we want Bright Red. And that should be it, actually. Yeah. Okay. Let's speed paint that. Ah, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I just didn't know the acronym for Mystery Science Theater. One of my favorite streaming channels, Djibouti Show, actually... They do a bunch of like movie commentaries in that style. It's one of my favorite things. I haven't watched Mystery Science Theater though in a long time. I know they stream it on like Twitch and YouTube or something, like 24/7. Did you rename Laura to avoid copyright, or is it your foreign accent? It's my foreign accent. I didn't know how to say the word crayons until I was 15 years old. Okay, because my father's Turkish. I have a Long Island accent, and then his Turkish accent, and he always called them crowns. Or just it's the Long Island accent. You'll hear me say certain things, but also, you get off your high horse, all right? Your smug English high horse, okay? How dare you? Should get him to make you one like that for your thread spools? True. That's the thing. I haven't thought about the fly tying tool capabilities. You're right. What I need to do is get Bamboo Labs to send me a printer so I don't need to have Rev constantly print me everything. I have him printing 24/7. I'm like, dude, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that. We just need 3 Bamboo printers 24/7 running. Yeah, how dare you? All right, the house that Rev prints. Yes. Perfect. All right, we're going to take a quick little break, chat. And when I get back, we're going to keep painting and keep chatting. Appreciate you folks hanging out and bantering with me while it is hot as hell out here. So I'm just going to make a, what do you call it, grab another cup of tea, and we'll keep painting. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to throw the slideshow up. And I'm going to adjust it. Let's adjust the scene. Because it has you guys chatting with each other between YouTube and chat. But let me see here. Where is it? It's kind of strange how it doesn't... it's a weird width and length. Like, it's not showing docs chat. Strange. Tinbot. Okay. Beep boop, beep boop. 2 spinners, 50 bases. Anything else? We got 2 spinners. That seems right. I wrote a list. But I have so much like infantry stuff in mind. The only thing I was thinking, but I may actually get the I am trying to buy more Warlord products as well, because I do like their actual stuff. I don't want everything to be 3D printed. but I was thinking Panzer IIIs, but you could wait on that. What I do want, and I'm going to buy it and I'll send it to you. Hold on. I'll show you right now. Oh. These right here, dude. Another next project. I'm going to probably end up picking these up probably tonight or something. What are we thinking, chat? Let's vote. Do we like this one? Now, mind you, this is like very much so more like Middle East, not like Turkey. This is more like Baghdad sort of stuff. But it can kind of fit the theme. I can't find more like Turkish style buildings, but you get the idea. So this comes with a lot too. Or we got this one, which is a little bit more intricate, nicer quality. You know what I mean? Not that one. This one looks nice, especially because it has it's pretty much the same sort of type of buildings that we're using now with these style buildings, with the same sort of peg system. You know what I mean? These look nicer. That's what I mean. These look very nice. And I feel like you could put lights in there, you know what I mean? You could stick some lights in there or something. Like, what if I glue nickel strips and then we put little magnets on the back of the light so it illuminates the inside, for instance. And they got like a minaret sort of deal, you know. And then you print like 2 of each of the big ones, a couple small ones, you know what I mean, here and there, bada bada, and you can put some of these on top of the buildings. You could put these sort of minaret tower style on top. That should be good. I think that's nice, right? I was looking at those other ones before. I mean, there are some other styles or other content creators, but it seemed like these two were the ones. There was this one here too. But these are kind of a little bit more basic, I would say. They still have some they're still somewhat, but these seem like, I think these will be the nicest for our videos and stuff. The idea is, so here's the thing. We're going to do, the way I'm going to introduce this is I want to slowly build up and do I want to start doing campaigns, or when I say a campaign, I want to just start doing videos where it starts out small and it ends in a big crescendo through multiple videos. This would be a great thing with the Turks, to have the Turks fighting against the Axis. They start rebelling against the Axis and they start fighting and stealing, and at the end of the video they steal a tank, and if they win they get an extra tank or something, you know what I mean? So I think that's pretty cool. I don't know. I think that's pretty interesting, but I think that could be a fun way of introducing them, you know? Dewey Cat Productions on Wargaming 3D. He's awesome. Okay, gotcha. Well, I think these are nice, and I think they fit. It's a nice variety. So, and I think these will be great for the Turkish power armor, the K47 miniatures. So, anyways, let's see. I'm gonna take a quick break and just stretch out real quick, and we'll be back in just a moment, chat, for some more painting. All right. Second vote for Dewey. Okay, I'll pull it up. We'll take a look when I get back. Hold on. I got like a million tabs open. Dewey Decimal. What's his name? Dewey Cat. Not on my mini factory. Okay. Gotcha. Wyndham. No, okay. Alright, well, we'll take a look when I get back. Alright, chat. Yeah, K47 is amazing. I love them. Alright, I'll be back, chat. Alright, we're back. Is this AoE 2 music? Hell yeah. I've been watching a lot of AoE 2 recently. With Hera, who's a pro AoE 2 player. I've been watching him for years. Because some of the old Tarkov players that I used to watch on Twitch would play AoE 2 every now and then. And then I found Hera, and then I got into AoE 2. And that's a super hyper competitive game. But the music's banger. I love being part of the judicial system, the Dewey Decimal System. Yeah, exactly. Time to put this Emperor's Child for now away. I feel the need to assemble this Steward tank for next week's game against the Soviet bloc and their bears. Oof. Best wishes to you, sir. Focus the bears. You get T90. Yeah, T90 is cool too. I don't like watch it all the time, but right now they're doing a huge tournament with like a bunch of streamers, and some of the streamers that I watch are in there. So it's been fun following along and watching it. AoE 2 Choppa? Yeah, I think I've heard it before. Alright. We're going to try something different. Let's see. You sent the link? Yeah, so it turns out this was the Dewey Cat. Ah, I see. Very nice. Nice. Just nice, good, respectable prints. Hell yeah. Ooh, a V1 rocket launch site. That's cool. Some boats. Japanese. Ooh, nice IGA bunker right there. That's cool. Alright, there's some cool stuff. Decent prices, too. Really decent prices. That's cool. Ooh, railway pack. Railway station. El Alamein. Cool. Hell yeah. Alright, that's good to know. He's on my minis. Alright, we're gonna paint the garb here on this dude. See how it looks. My poor wet palette is not very wet. I think I can use my crappy brush for this. We don't need the ultra position. I probably should just look up videos on. I think you can like steam your brushes or something and fix them. Should probably just start doing that. I'm going to paint this white, or as close to white as I can, with this Brigade gray, so then I can speed paint it. It's probably going to take a layer or two, but... We're kind of figuring out the color schemes and all that, so that way I can paint them all in batches. I'm going to order that sepia wash tonight. We got bases coming from Rev for the 3D printed stuff, like these Demir guys. And I gotta, what I should do is order a bunch of cool grass tufts that fit, like big desert grass, but tall stuff. Is what I'm thinking. Because I want to do these guys, make them look good. Rev's been killing it with the paint, so I gotta step up my game. Been spending more time editing than I do hobbying nowadays. The editing stuff takes quite a while. So I gotta start working on the next conflict video. It's US versus Axis. That'll be coming out next week. Then we have a 2,000 point game of one-page rules Grimdark Future with the Lust Brothers, the Emperor's Children, versus the Human Defense Force, aka the Guard. So Lust Brothers versus Human Defense Force, I should say. But people have been loving this last one-page rules video. They're going crazy for it. So I got all these requests now. They want Napoleonic era versus Tyrannid. So I found a custom army rules for Napoleonic era for the firefight. And then they want oh, what was the other one someone requested? Oh, I forgot. They wanted Germans versus something else. And then somebody was like, you should do like pike and shot era like English, knights versus Stormcast Eternals. And I was like, ooh, we have both of those. So that's something I think I'm going to focus on with one-page rules, Grimdark Future Firefight. Of course, we're going to do regular stuff, but I want to do wacky matchups. Because it's a lot of fun seeing a human standing next to an orc war boss. Not a 40k human, a fucking bolt-action human. Who's even smaller. It was hilarious. While I was editing it, I was just dying laughing. Because you got a dude that's like 5 foot, 9, 5'10", standing next to like a 10-foot tall orc war boss. Because even the guard in 40k are bigger than the bolt-action humans, so. Because everything's 32 mil heroic scale, so. Especially the modern stuff with the size creep GW does. Alright, painting inside of the cloaks is such a pain in the butt. I hate this stuff. This is why sub-assembly is nice, but when they're 3D printed and they all come in one piece like this, You just gotta suck it up. Okay. Oh, and we do gotta figure something out, Ed. We gotta get, like, other conflict creators, and we should do, like, a freaking podcast or something. We should do a thing where we, like, all get together and like talk about the game. Me and Rev are going to end up doing something like that. I don't want to spoil it, but we kind of have an idea for a series where it's discussing the game, but it's doing it in a different setting than what we're used to, with like Mordian and Salty Simon or something. But we should think about doing something with other K47 creators and all doing something together. Obviously we can play games online or something, but we should think about doing something. We got to keep spreading the word of conflict, the good word of conflict. The more conflict creators, the more conflict content, the better for the game, so. Oh, there's one little area I can't get to. Maybe I can. Here we go. Okay, that's good enough. If anyone's looking in there, they got to get their head out of this dude's groin. One hundo? Hell yeah. Do you ever underpaint white? What do you mean by underpaint? I usually prime and then I'll airbrush a lot of these sort of dudes. But like these guys right here, I just primed black and then I hit them with a light zenithal highlight just so there's some like dark shading below. And then I painted them with the brush. But sometimes I'll do it with the airbrush and do multiple shades. Some colors from underneath, like my Blood Angels are green from underneath. And then a couple shades of the Blood Angels red over a black primer. Well, that may end up being the case, but I do have some ideas for like talking about conflict and all that, so me and Rev are definitely going to be doing that. Discussing the game and what we like, dislike, balance stuff, just like the feel of the game, and just talking about ideas. Because I would like to do some stuff on the channel other than just make battle reports. And Rev's like, nope, more battle reports. Even more. Realistically, I could probably do like 2 battle reports a week if it was like my full-time job. Like maybe 2.5 battle reports a week. It takes a little bit. I can see why they have like editors for channels and stuff. Just hit this with enough coats. I'm kind of speeding it. Normally I would wait for it to dry a little, but whatever, it works. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm thinking white pants and red on the cape. Yeah, and right now I'm editing a giant video for summertime saltwater flies for striped bass fishing, and it's a huge video. It's taking forever. You're the battle report guy, stay in your lane. Hell yeah, baby. Underpainting technique to help weak covering paints. You find a suitable underpaint and put one layer. Oh, I gotcha. So if the paint has a hard time, like if you're having a hard time getting a good base layer, the white will help with a lighter color over a dark or something. Yeah, I gotcha. I don't mind doing a couple coats though, stuff like that. You're almost doing a couple coats if you do a white underlayer, right? Light blue with white gives you a cool, clean look. Gotcha. Where light brown would give you a well-used, dirty look. Interesting. Alright, I got my list figured out for the game. Swapping out the Sherman tank with a heavy cannon for 2 more Fireflies. I like that. I stopped using the Tesla, if that's what you're talking about. And I'm using the anti-tank on the Shermans. I think it's better, by the way. For 2 more Fireflies and an M2A2 Stewart. Oh, that's a Tesla Stewart vehicle with the gyros. Ooh. Oh, you swapped out the Sherman for 2 more Fireflies and an M2A2 Stewart. I haven't tried the Stewarts out. I don't have one. That's 14 Fireflies, Firefly Officer with 2 Fireflies, 6 Paragons, Coyote Mech, Linebacker Mech, and the Stewart. That sounds good. All have ATRDs, so 17 Fireflies with 17 HRD shots is nuts. Hear me out. First off, I hope you have guts on your Firefly Officer. Second off, hear me out. Just make that a single dude. And that way you can shoot ATRDs non-stop. You don't have to pick... Well, I guess you could always just choose to shoot one. Right? So there is no really downside. Yeah, I guess there's really no downside, right? I usually just run a single Firefly officer, platoon commander, and then give him an ATRD and have him drop in behind a tank and shoot it point blank and stuff. But I guess there's no reason. I mean, there's kind of no harm to having 2 extra dudes. You just have to choose to shoot one at a time or shoot all of them. Because if you do shoot all of them, then you're out completely. But you can just choose to shoot one. That's the same as having 1 dude, I guess, right? So, it doesn't matter, actually. I usually just run them 1. 6 coats normal, 2 coats with undercoating. Gotcha. Well, yeah, I only ever do a couple coats anyway. Even if it's not super dominant, I kind of like having a little bit more toned down paint scheme instead of being super bright. You know what I mean? That's why I do like prime black, airbrush it another color, and then airbrush the color on top. Or paint on it and do a couple layers. But then again, I'm not a master painter. I just do it my own way. I've been so with the Mike Rolls Dice Instagram, which you have if you haven't check it out. Go follow me on Instagram because I bet you Warlord for their affiliate program is going to be looking at my Instagram. I had to make one for it. I have my main Instagram for LI Flies Mike, and I've become so disheartened with Instagram with how like the algorithm is and the slop it tries to show me on that account. But I have a new account now, brand new, and I'm just following like miniature stuff. And dude, some of the miniature painting I see on Instagram is crazy, especially with the Konflikt stuff. It's wild. If you bring in with 2 extra fireflies, that's 2 more dudes to chew through before him. Yeah, Warhammer logic. Exactly. That is true. That is true. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wonder where else we can incorporate red and white. I kind of want to put some gold on this dude too. But maybe all that like cool armor and stuff. I don't know. So what I'm thinking is the Rift energy color will be red for their own Rift stuff. I don't want to use too much Axis Rift technology. Gotta bounce. See you later. Hey Ed, thanks for handing out, dude. Appreciate it. I'll see you around. Keep it up with the videos. Killing it. Hit you up about a podcast sort of thing? Hell yeah, dude. I gotta maybe find like a couple more people or something, you know? But yeah, we could figure it out. I'm down. I'll hit you up for sure. We'll talk about some stuff. Be nice to be able to make a video that isn't a battle report that I have to edit so much. Alright, we're going to throw some red speed paint on here. Try not to get it all over the white pants. I can just fix it if I need to. I got a little bit on there already. This looks nice though. I like having some color, dude. I don't have any cool colorful units. It's all like army colors or Axis colors. The only cool colors we have is a little peacock. Oh yeah, of course. I was just, there might be other people that would be interested. It doesn't have to be traditional style podcast either, you know what I mean? But we'll figure it out either way. It's going to be something casual for fun. Who knows if anybody will even watch it. Would it be fun to make? Alright, yeah, we'll see, Ed. Sounds good, dude. But we could do it with just two hosts, if you will, and then bring different people on. Tabletop Command Post, Mordian, Barefoot Miniatures. We could bring some Konflikt, other Konflikt creators, players. Interview like a champion tournament winner. You know what I mean? For the competitive dudes. Stuff like that. And talk about the game, we could have stuff where we talk about certain topics. I think that could be pretty cool. Alright. Not too shabby, is it? Out of focus half the time, probably. Thank you for bearing with me, chat. My terrible filming of painting. You can tell I don't make many painting videos. I do have the camera pretty far away. It's just kind of hard to keep in mind the position, and I like moving my hand a lot. That's the tricky thing. Okay, painting in the back here is going to be like hazardous. Maybe I shouldn't have painted the pants white yet. Maybe I should have waited to paint the pants white. You know what I mean? Man, it's hot in here. Holy cow. I can always paint them again, but it's alright, we're making do. Clean my brush. Yo, Drew, what's up? How's it going? What you missed, we got our custom faction, the Turkish Resistance, for K47 is what we're working on. Either loyal to the Axis or to fight the Axis, working with the Allies. I like to think the second idea, but we could have both options. What else did you miss? We were looking at some of the models that I'm going to be using. Talking about different ideas. That's about it. Unit ideas. We might do, we're thinking about doing like complete custom army with like custom rules and stuff is the idea. But how you doing, Cosmic? How is your Legion stream? How's the Legion minis going? God, there's some dangerous areas. You know what? I mean, that's pretty good. Oh, damn it. There's some areas back there I gotta get. You can always touch up areas that I screw up. Start with gray and get lighter until you get white. Oh, interesting. You think I should just, like, actually paint it? I was gonna... Yeah, I don't know why I thought about speed painting. I was gonna use, like, a pallid bone, essentially. We could try that. If we don't like it, then we can always, paint it, like, traditionally by starting up. Okay, I'm just gonna get some paint on the legs. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have to redo it anyway. Lesson learned. Ooh. Sloppy. I was thinking about doing red on the edge of the armor anyway, and now I might do it because I screwed up. That's alright though, we got it. Alright, that should be alright. I don't see any blaring white spots. If I film it from like a cool angle, everything's covered. Let that dry. And we'll do the pants. Yeah, I don't know why I was going to speed paint it. Maybe we should just paint the pants. We'll do like gray and then we could build it up a little. You know, it's funny. Sometimes you can't force yourself to paint something if you don't feel like it. I've been trying to force myself to paint this 40K. But I just can't. So I'm going to use the energy towards K47 Trench Crusade stuff. That's the thing. I go through waves. I haven't felt like doing a lot of hobby stuff recently, so we were just talking about stuff and doing some basic painting, or doing some terrain stuff, which is like whatever. But like recently I got motivation. I was like, I'm gonna do a custom faction. I'm gonna do this. So right now I'm in like this mode, but it'll change at some point. I want to do some American stuff, or I want to work on Turnip 28 or Gaslands. Like we just did all this Gaslands stuff. I built the Gaslands. I'm still in Gaslands mode too. I gotta paint all that. I primed all the terrain. I primed everything. I just need to airbrush it now. But speed paints white is just gray usually. Yeah, exactly. I was going to use the pallid bone and give it like that sort of like dirty white color. But I like your idea. Let's try and paint it gray. I'm going to cheapen the steps though. I'm going to not use too many steps of gray. We'll start with the ash gray. I guess we could go darker, but I don't want to like do like 8 layers of it. We'll try this. Also, I'm thinking about what should I do for the paint schemes because I'm being lazy, and the speed paint pallid bone would be nice. But you convinced me. We'll try it. Good thing about minis is they can always sit safely in a box on a sprue. Exactly. Oh, I have some friends that know all about that. Oh, dude, we're going to have StarCraft on the channel. We're going to do some StarCraft. My buddy ordered both starting set boxes. My buddy Garrett, who was in the most recent one-page rules game. I think he got motivated after playing that. And, so I'm probably going to end up having to build a bunch of it and help him too, but that's fine because I wanted to try it. So he got the Zerg Space Marine starter set, and then he got the Protoss. And he mentioned the reason why he got it is because essentially his favorite game of all time is the original StarCraft from back in the day, and I used to. That was the first ever game I played really on PC on a Windows computer. And my God, was it glorious! Still remember the first day playing it and like that first mission and being like, whoa. So, we are going to try it out here on the channel. I also just ordered a bunch of bolt action K47 stuff. Uh-oh, you dirty dog. What'd you get? Yeah, I got these Italian black shirts, and then we converted these to Turkish troops. They turned out really great. I'm happy with them. I'll just touch up the boots later. I'll clean it up a little. Kind of like that red bled through on the gray, but that's alright. Maybe I will hit it with a little darker gray. Kind of blend the two. Because obviously we want the darker gray to be in the recesses, right? It also covers up that red overbleed we had earlier. A little bit nicer. It's better. I like the red, dude. The red looks sick. I made an order from Noble Knight Games. I usually buy models that they have at a discount and repair them myself. Ooh, interesting. I got a box of Schreckwolfen, a German truck, a Puma armored car, a Stug, and a U.S. HMG team. Ah, interesting. Do you have an U.S. team? Or U.S. Army? I love how you have, like, a gigantic Axis army. That's sick. Just a million zombies, a bunch of walkers. Now you're going to have all these Schreckwolfen. Hell yeah, dude. I love it. Fill up the gaming shelf. Okay, we're going to let this dry a little bit. I mean, we could paint the hat like a red and white. But is that too much? I kind of want to do like a camo color, if anything. A cool camo color. We could do another coat of red speed paint on here, though. And not screw up the gray that we just put on the pants. We're going to avoid the under area. Almost would be better to use like an actual red paint like Blood Angels, but I have this nice speed paint. Sometimes I love the look of the speed paint, and sometimes I'm like, eh. But I think it looks good. We're running low here, but I think I'd use just the last drop perfectly. That looks good. Time to go wash the resin. Sounds good. Yep. United States, my first army for K47. You have 4 linebackers. Damn, okay. I've just been seeing you've been going hard on the Germans. Or the Axis. I see. Let's go with, okay, now we can go with a little lighter gray. Maybe not as much paint. God, okay, Rev, if you're watching, I need one thing. I watched a video, a YouTube short, or an Instagram video, and it was so smart. hobby stuff. I need a miniature holder, dude. You know how they have those GW paint holders? They have STLs for them, and where it's like you can adjust it, so it has like little teeth that you can move to hold it, and it's got the handle. I need that, even if it's just one where it's a handle and I could put a sticky thing on it. But if they have one that you can move the jaw thing to put the mini in and close it and then hold it, that's what I need. I'm sick and tired of doing this. I've been doing this for years like an idiot. And respond in chat if you heard that with a yerp. Otherwise, I'll text you. That would be one thing that I would love. Okay, next step of gray on there. Looks good. Looks good. I kind of like your idea. Oh, my God. Holy cow, he's good. That thing went flying, dude. That resin bounces. Sorry for yelling. I was just kicking around the idea of a French army using Wargames Atlantic Les Grognards last night. Now this shows up on my feed. Very inspiring, bro. Looks like I got to do it. Go for it. There's not enough. Here's the thing, dude. We've already filmed 20-something games of Konflikt. U.S. versus Axis, Axis versus Brits. There's still 5 armies, which is sick. But there's so much more you could do. Like, you could do the French. Either make... And just use existing rules if you're playing with other people. If you're playing with your friends, make your own rules for them, you know? A painting handle, got tons of options. Yeah, Demon Slayer, a painting handle for the minis, 3D printed with an FDM printer. I saw one on Instagram. They had like a sick, you know, kind of like the GW one that opens and closes. And it can hold the mini. But yeah, dude, do it. We have Rev with his British army. He's got monkeys in there. I have emus. If you haven't seen my Axis army with Little Peacock, Little Peacock's my alter ego cousin, who's a rapper that was banished to the Shadow Realms on my Flytime channel in a Halloween music battle. And now he's in K47, and he brought emu eggs, and he has emu bodyguards. He's Heinrich Gross. And then they used emu genetics, so all of my Nachtjagers have real bird feathers from my Flytime material, and they're painted purple and everything. Do whatever you want, dude. It's the Rift. People can't tell you anything. Get some French dudes, and then I don't know what's cool. You got to find something like mythological or find whatever. You don't have to. You could do all basic mechanical infantry, but you can also go wild. Make an Irish army and have some sort of Irish myth, you know, like mythos or something. Or like you said, have some old school like Napoleonic French dudes, you know, or something. But put some modern heads and maybe like kit bash the guns or just green stuff some coils on there and call them some sort of rift muskets, you know? I don't know what the Grognods are, though. It sounds like a freaking Napoleonic thing, so that's why I mentioned it. Also sounds like that's a thing from Turnip that they talk about. And one of the first things I picked up when I started painting was the paint holder. I got the GW one. It's been a great help. Well, shout out to Rev, dude. We use Army Painter and Vallejo around here, but yeah, hell yeah, dude. This is FDM printed. Do you guys want to know a little secret too? Let's just say somebody ordered ordered the speed paint kit from Amazon, and 2 of them showed up. So that's why I have them. Talk about getting lucky, dude. Otherwise, I would have never had a speed painting kit. I just never used speed paint. But I gotta say, it is nice. Okay, we go with Company Gray next. The armies from your battle reports are what got my juices flowing. Hell yeah. Love the weird. Got an Irish army with a bunch of attack dogs that would be badass. Well, there you go. Oh, do you have an Irish bolt action army? Or like a Irish, historical or something? Hell yeah, dude. Well, Doc's an Irishman here. He could probably tell us some cool... You could have the Loch Ness Monster. Oh, wait, that's Scottish. I'm sorry, Doc's probably like, you fucking idiot. I was about to do an Irish accent, too. Like, you blood... But then I realized I was going to screw it up. Oh, you bloody Americans. I think the Loch Ness Monster's in Ireland. Sorry, Doc. Doc's a longtime viewer from my Flytime stuff here on Twitch. What do you call it? There's got to be some cool... You could either use, like, historical Irish stuff, or you could use the Irish wolfhounds, dude. Do you have Irish wolfhounds, I'm guessing? Those would be sick. Yeah. And what you could do is they've stolen a bunch of technology from the British, because that's, screw the British if you're Irish, and they've stolen a bunch of the robot technology. So you could use that to either have the Warlord Games robots, and then give them all like kilts and stuff or whatever, and like jugs of Guinness on their back. Or what you could do is you could like use 3D prints or make your own robot dudes, and then give them a cool like Celtic shields, or like do some sort of Celtic paint job on them. Use banshees. Yeah, you could have banshees. There you go, as jump troops, or like banshees as like ghosts. Or like the zombies type infantry things or something. My Axis army is based on South American Tomb Raiders. That's what I love to hear, dude. Light speed painting. What was that? The paint holder for the models, but the one with the teeth. Gotcha. Yeah, my paint holders don't go in a holder, they go in a bucket. I forgot, we've seen Cosmic's painting table. Why did I even think? Hold on, I have to show you guys. We have to, because it's just the funniest thing. And I know Cosmic doesn't mind, I bet. I don't think you're self-conscious about your paint table. I think you embrace it. Hold on, we got to find the right picture, though. Like, look at his paint table, dude. Look how many layers of paint is on the surface. By the way, look at it. Fantastic. Looks sick. But I love that, like, everything's covered in paint. There's just sprues everywhere. There's empty paint bottles. There's like just open things, a lead belcher or whatever this is. Yeah, it's lead belcher, right? I don't even use 40K paints, I already know. You love your chaotic painting table, though I had to clear it off of stuff to get its prep to get more stuff on it. Yeah. I just love that, though. There's more chaotic pictures. I just found this one, though. But the cool thing we get from Cosmic, check this out. Hell yeah, dude. Sheesh. Motherfucker's got like clay and milliput. He's making like custom walkers. That's sick. We love that. We love it. All right. Yeah, very cool, Sidewinder. That's what we love to see. Embrace the weird, okay? Weird War 2. There's a reason why they call it Weird War 2. Embrace it. Oh, wait, did I do this layer of paint? I think I did. We'll do another one. Who knows? A light one on the edges or highlight area. This is where I kind of don't want the paint to start going into the recesses, right? And I want to keep that somewhat darker grays that are on the inside kind of peeking through. Yeah, unfortunately my table needs to be super nice because I'm usually either fly tying flies, stuff like this, using my vise and the materials. So I have the table is either a painting mini table or it's a fly tying table half the time. And when I record my fly tying videos, I take everything off, put a black cloth down, and then film it with like a dark background with my fly tying vise. When I do the mini stuff, I just have the table with like the pad and usually some sort of background like trees or something, so it's a little cool. But all right, and last color of gray, the lightest one, which is close to white, because I don't actually have any white paint, by the way. We're gonna hit the raised areas here. All right, I think it looks good. Might need one more coat. Might need like an actual white. But I think it looks good. I could be probably a little less sloppy with some of the lighter coats, so I can actually have some of that dark paint poking through a little bit better. So you can get some of the darker paint. It's kind of hard to see right now with the color balance too, but... Alright, cool. So we got red and white pants. The tan Turkish colored armor, I think, is what we're going to do, but with the power armor. Again, the whole idea is I think these guys are going to have like rift energy flowing through their armor or something. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I got to figure out, like, do I use the pink color from like the Axis, right? For my rift shotgun and stuff? Or do I go with another color? I kind of want to use red. Now, I think... Is Rev using red rift color for anything? No, I think you're using pink and purple. I'm just trying to think if we're using red for any rift colors. I don't think so. I'm using green on some Axis. I'm using blue on the US. The British stuff is kind of Tesla related anyway. Rev's got pink on his Axis army. And I'm just trying to think. So I think I could probably use red, maybe. And that'll fit the color. So we can have, like, the sword imbued with, like, red colors and some red coloration. Like, you know, do, like, the glowing effect. And then do some red on top of it or something. And some more glow or something. I could always, like, airbrush it a little or something. I think that'll work. And the armor is going to be mostly, like, this tannish color. But we could do some, like, tiger stripe paint job on it with, like, a darker color. I need to go back and like watch some videos to get more confident before I do the tiger stripe thing, but I need to use a small enough brush and just kind of work it in. I saw somebody did a leaf camo. I think it was Ursus Unit or something on Instagram who has Konflikt content on there. And I was like, you know what? I should do some sort of cool camo. I mean, but I don't want to overdo it, but I think if we do like a tiger stripe, that'll be nice. I don't know if we want to incorporate the red into that though, but I think on the regular troops, they're going to have it on their fezzes and their hats. That's probably what it's going to be. But yeah, okay. So that sepia tone wash, I think, is going to be important to also get the colors to where I want it. You know what I mean? For sure. But, I mean, that's pretty much looking where I want it. So before I do any of the armor, though, and, like, I got to do a sepia wash, I think, before I... What do you think? Or do you do the color camo pattern and then the sepia wash? This is what you would do. We could probably do some brown on some of this stuff. Like his shoes. It's like he has shin guards, so I'm going to leave those like tan, but I'll do like the shoe area or something. Well, I guess we kind of have to go back, eh? Just paint the whole thing brown, screw it. We could have the tan clasp or strap on it though. Get some different color in there. I like the color scheme we got going on though. Nice little desert Turkish Ottoman color. If you guys have any suggestions, I'm always open. But I think we got a nice little color palette going on, a little scheme. Oh man, the mini holder would be nice. I've been wanting that for a little bit. Because I was using like old fly tying spools, thread spools, and then putting an adhesive thing on top, but I'd have to swap it out with like all the minis. It was kind of a pain in the ass. My hand starts shaking a little. Alright. Hit the shotgun. It's like carved wood, but it has like really cool Arabic carvings in it that we're going to hit with a different color eventually. We're not doing everything right now, but we're kind of just messing around and throwing some colors on these minis to see what we end up with. Probably some of this is going to be black, but that's okay. I just want to get the stock for now. Not make a complete and utter mess. Think we're doing all right though. And I don't think they have polymer plastic equipment yet for their guns, so we'll probably still has a handmade wooden pump for the pump shotgun, or maybe some sort of, I guess it could be some sort of Bakelite type thing, but pretty certain World War II shotguns on the American side still had like wood grain, wood stocks and everything. I don't know if the pump handle was wood, but I would think it is. Every shotgun I've ever owned or shot nowadays is all plastic polymers for all the equipment, or the furniture, they call it. All right. Hey, okay. We're getting little colors on there. Maybe like a bronze, either gold or bronze. I'm thinking for like the handle of the sword and everything, for instance. Very nice though. Yeah, I could do like there's like an edge of the armor. Is that what that is? Or oh, is that actually might still be part of his gown? It is. I actually need to paint that. That's on me. I missed this. Like the red area. Dude, low-key linebacker with 2 bazookas is pretty lit. I've never used the bazooka one. I will say, I've always been a sucker for the twin HMGs. I mean, just 24 shots. Plus 1 pen feels criminal. But, that being said, the autocannons are pretty sick. Also, on my app, it didn't give me an option for bazookas on my linebacker. I don't know why. Have you guys noticed that? Or did it just... I don't know why it was not doing it for me, but... But I've been using the... Rev convinced me to try out the autocannons, and they were pretty good. Because you drop the linebacker behind a tank. The autocannons are what? Plus 2 pen, I think? And then you can get additional pen for the rear profile, for being in point-blank range. Next thing you know, with the autocannons, you can like blow up a tank. Or at least take out some heavy infantry too. I haven't tried the bazookas though. I haven't tried the bazookas. Yeah, I was just looking at my list the other night and I didn't see it. Maybe it's just weird because sometimes you have to unclick stuff before it shows you the other options. That might have been what it was. Yeah, well, hey. You should have watched my how to magnetize your linebacker video that I made. It was one of the only videos. That video actually did pretty good too. But I was like, you know what? I'm going all out, and I magnetized all the weapon options, and I made the arms movable on the linebacker. It did take a while though. You could always rip them off and just throw some magnets in there. I'm a big fan of the Super Bazooka, but I am sad that they do not get the real roll because they're one-shotty and they're twin. So what are you talking about with the bazookas on the twin bazookas on the linebacker? You mean it's like a one-shot thing instead of 2 shots? Is that what you're saying? That's maybe why I haven't used them. Autocannons are kind of my standard along with the flamethrower. Yeah. It would be nice. Honestly, I'd be happy to take the Tesla away. I don't even want the Tesla. Let me have autocannons, HMGs, and a flamethrower. Oh, good. I'm glad it helped. People love the battle report stuff. I made a couple other hobby stuff and wasn't watched as much, but the conflict stuff was nice. I also took advantage of the fact that the game was brand new. I think that helped. Super bazookas do not benefit from Arsenal of Democracy. This was put out by Warlord because each bazooka is one shot. Ah, I see. So you can't reroll. It should be 2 shots, you would think. Is it any better than a regular bazooka? Like, what's the point of a super bazooka? I was looking at what's the point of a super bazooka over a regular bazooka in the game anyway. I was trying to figure out. I think we looked at this. Is it that it doesn't have shape charge, or? I don't think it has a longer range or anything, right? Alright, let's take a look. I'd say look into the Mud Skipper if you're not going to use the Tesla. Well, I do love the linebacker. I'm not going to lie. It's also just cool, and I don't have a Mud Skipper Mini, and I do have my linebacker, and it's painted very nicely. Gotcha. Okay, I'll take a look at the Mud Skipper, though. I don't have one. That could be a cool one to actually buy. It's just got more pen. That's it, right? Yeah. That's it. Okay. I see. Oh, damn it. I just got red on there. On his gun. It's going to take a couple coats of the speed paint, but it's going to make it nice and vibrant. I kind of want to hit the whole freaking model with a sepia wash. I'm not going to lie. Probably look nice on even the red and everything. Just give it like a sand, a sand covered look. Sand blasted yellow. I think I've showed you my Mud Skipper, but it was converted giant gorilla in battle armor. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh shit, I could just do something like that too. I kind of do. I love. I don't know why I just almost had a stroke there. I do love the American mechs though. They're some of my favorite minis that they have in their ranges. So I wouldn't mind actually just getting. I only have a linebacker as an official Warlord miniature. The rest are proxies. So I would like to get a some more mechs at some point. I should probably get one of the bundles with like for $100 where you get 3 or something. God, this AOE music is so nice, right? So relaxing. Alright, looking good, dude. Looking good so far. I'm digging the look. Digging the look. This could be a brown strap, I guess. Paint this up. My hand's shaking. Clean up any screw up there. If you get the introductory starter box with the Fireflies and Troopers, it comes with a cardboard cutout of the linebacker and Vogelspinne. Gotcha. Honestly, I was thinking about getting just another starter set. That way, the Turks have proper Vogelspinne. I mean, they get a proper Vogelspinne. they get Stalltroopin, so I can just have real Stalltroopin minis and paint them in Turkish colors, which would look sick. Probably change the helmets maybe slightly and put like a fez on the Stalltroopin helmet. And then not only do I have all the Stalltroopins, which I can get 3D print more torsos and make a ton of Stalltroopins for the Turks, have a nice Vogelspinne, get more dice, all that stuff. And then I can also get another linebacker, so I have another official linebacker, and I have more Fireflies. I can make another like 18 Fireflies or something with all the, if I make some torsos. So I was tempted to. If Rev doesn't have a actual physical K47 rulebook, which I don't think he does, I'm very tempted to get it and just give him the rulebook. But that might be the thing, because I think it's like $140 or less or something. And I can get a good amount of Fireflies, a linebacker, a bunch of Stalltroopin, a Vogelspinne, and then I'll have a ton more Rift dice and some more of the nice pin markers and some more ruins as well. So we'll see. I don't know. I haven't thought. I was thinking about it. I would like to get some different units because I would really just be getting more of all the same units I already have. But so that's why I'm like, maybe I'll hold off. But that was one thing that popped in my mind. We'll see. I'm not jumping the gun on anything though, but I might get another starter box at some point. But we'll see. Maybe they'll have some cool bundle or something. Get this boot here. Clean it up. Alright, holy hell, it is so hot, chat. Get an AC unit tomorrow, thank God. I don't know if it'll be ready, though, for a battle report, so... I gotta hit up Rev, see what he wants to do. Maybe we'll take a chill day tomorrow. I'll edit the conflict video. Film a little update on these. I essentially filmed a video like building them and showing stages through building them, kit bashing them, and then painting them. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a whole video series on building and like coming up with a custom faction. So that's a video series that I'm gonna work on, but that'll take a little while to do. But I'm slowly filming in the background, essentially. You know what I mean? But it is hot, chat. I took a shower before this. I bet you if I stand up from the chair, my back is just completely soaked. It's so hot, dude. That being said, I think we got a nice little start to our color scheme. I mean, it's really not that complicated, right? It's just some brown. I'll paint the faces. It's an appropriate kind of like Mediterranean color. Skin tone. And then I'll do some basic... I could either maybe just do some basic metallic on, something like that. But really, all their outfits are just brown and then the... kind of more like yellowish beige color, and then a couple Turkish symbols, so which I'll do after the sepia stuff. So, but I think they came out good in these shotgunning. What do you call it? Shotgunning. I guess we could always call them Janissaries, but I guess just the advanced infantry with the red and the white. I think came out pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it. That being said. I have some more Fireflies here that I'm going to be working on in the background. Rev printed up jetpacks and torsos, and I took all the legs and the arms, made some more Fireflies. That'll be for the upcoming Apocalypse video. I need to paint the rest of all these buildings. I need to do the brown windows. I did all the bricks. I did the airbrushing and stuff. I need to hit them with a wash and then hit them with dry brush. I'm going to put posters on them. I'll show you real quick. I got some World War II, like German and French posters printed out. It's kind of hard to see because the light's here. There we go. So we're going to glue those to the walls. And then I'll like dry brush and hit them with a wash so it kind of looks all dirty. So we're getting ready for our big game, our big Apocalypse game. And I have a ton of terrain that I'm working on finally because Rev dropped so much off. And I can't really ask him for more stuff if I don't finish the stuff he brought. So all the buildings will be done. And I do want to show one thing. Check this out. I've never seen this happen. I primed them black, right? Look, it warped. It was like 90 degrees out. and the sun hit these things when they were primed black as they were drying. I only left them out for about 15 minutes. Look, it warped the freaking roof. The FDM print actually warped from the heat after being primed black, because they were not like this. They were like perfect. At least I think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but it happened to a couple of them, and I figured it out. This was the one sitting in the sun. I'm like, dude, this thing was baking, and I think what happened is it cooked it. So it looks kind of like shit, but it'll work. Maybe we can have smoke billowing out of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, these are sick. Shout out to Rev. He's been working really hard printing us a ton of terrain for the channel. Because previously I used all foam stuff that I made myself, which was cool, but doesn't look anywhere near as good as something like this. You know what I mean? So, still got a lot of work. I've been very lazy recently, and I'll airbrush them and paint some window frames, and that's it. But I hit all the bricks. I did all this, that, and what do you call it? I'm trying to make these look really good. I'm trying to step up our game, because after watching Tabletop Command Post, Mordian, and Barefoot Miniatures, I mean, Barefoot Miniatures, if you guys saw the recent D-Day videos, oh my god. The custom boards that they made for it was so cool looking. So, I'm finally getting organized with space. We're going to leave the gaming table where it is. I got to tell Rev, we're not putting this thing on the wall. That thing's way too heavy. But I got some sick cabinets I'm working on. I'm going to put shelves. The problem is storing all this stuff's a big issue. So I want it to look nice is the thing. So that'll be coming up in the future. So I'm slowly upgrading all my storage stuff. But all right, chat. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. It's freaking hot. I'm going to go cool out in the backyard. I'm going to eat some dinner. I haven't eaten anything yet as well. So... And, yeah, we got a new Konflikt 47 video. It'll be coming out probably Wednesday. I'll definitely have that done by Wednesday. It'll be out early for you folks. Probably, you know, I try to at least put it out the night before or something for you guys. And, what do you call it? I'm going to try and do some more streams as well. So now that we're doing a bunch of hobby stuff and all that. So, we're going to definitely probably try and do, like, at least a couple streams a week. Doing some hobby stuff or chit-chatting, you know, catching up on... like any new Konflikt minis and all that. So, but other than that, I'm gonna keep working on videos, and yeah, we got Konflikt and one-page rules. We're gonna do Gaslands is a brand new game we're featuring on the channel with Matchbox. We have Turnip 28 we're gonna film. We're gonna start getting back into bolt action, and we're just gonna keep pumping out Konflikt as well. So. But anyways, chat, take it easy. Thank you so much for hanging out. Rudy, thank you so much for the gift memberships and the dono. Steve, thank you for handing out. RK, Cosmic, thanks for handing out, dude. Have a great stream. I'll try and stop by later tonight if you're streaming, and I'll look for Tiki as well. Rev, we had Derelict, Sidewinder. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for handing out. You guys are awesome. And yeah, we'll see you guys probably at some point next week for a stream. Maybe we'll do it on like Wednesday night, because we usually release battle reports. I try to. We're going to start doing it again on Wednesdays. So. All right, chat. Take it easy.